Appreciate you all being here today. Thank you. I sent you a text inviting you today just to remind you we do this every week on Tuesdays at 11:30 for 30 minutes, and it's meant to just add value into your real estate business. Whether you're a big team leader like Chris or you're new in the real estate business, there's value that you'll get from this. And so I do about, first 15 minutes or so of kind of an agenda that I set up. Today we're going to be talking about something super, super sexy, emails. It's not sexy, but they're coming back actually. And emails is the deliverability of emails is really, really growing. And if you have value and if you have something to add, it can be really, really powerful. There's really, when we look at emails, we talk about there's three deliverables that I prepared, right? The email objectives are this: delivered, opened, and then read or clicked, right? Those are the measurables that we want to have on our emails. And we're running about a 47% open rate, which is really, really good. Our click rates are still low. People are resistant of clicking on emails inside of or clicking a link inside of an email, but it's something to consider and think about. And real quick, if you're not muted, go ahead and mute yourself. If you want to talk, just raise your hand, chat, anything you want, and then we'll come off mute just so we don't have any background noise. I appreciate it. So if you have any needs in email, there's a couple different systems that you can use, but what I want to give you is a tool that we found that works really, really well at this. If you're interested in taking your email to your database, to your past clients, to your sphere of influence to a higher level, what we found out is you have to treat the email kind of like a learning program, meaning the algorithm within Gmail and MailChimp and all these other things. If you just try to upload 3,000 contacts into your email and just send it out, it's going to be a problem because it's going to start looking at it like spam. Okay. So number one, you want to start slow, meaning like, say for instance, you have a couple thousand emails on your list of past clients, whatever it may be. What you want to do is you want to start with probably about 100 emails per day, right? So on day one, pick 100 recipients that's going to go out. Day two, another 100. Day three, another 100. Let's just say you do this for 5 days. That's 500 emails you'll send out in the scope of that week. You want to be looking at the open rate and the deliverable rate of those. And then the second week, you'll send it to those 500 plus another 100, right? So week two, 500 plus one, 500 plus two, three, four, five. So after 2 weeks, you've sent 1,000. Repeat that every week until you get up to the number of emails that you want to send out. I know people sending out 15,000 emails a month. But the reality is, if you just try to do that from the beginning, you'll be marked as spam. You'll start hitting the spam folders and all the things, right? So that's number one, is having that structure where you set it up is really important. And this has been proven through, thousands of emails that myself and some other coaches have sent out for this information. Another thing you want to do is not include pictures and big files, because big files, when the email servers see this big file come up and choking it up, you got just a simple picture could be 5 to 10 megs, right? You want to make sure that you limit the amount of pictures. It's okay to have a header or something in your email, but you don't want to include a bunch of pictures and stuff to, especially to a mass email, because the servers will pick it up and say, this is going to chew up a bunch of space. We're going to throttle it down. And then the deliverability changes and all the things change. So the weight of your file, the pics are too big, don't choke it down. By the way, there's a thing called JPEG Mini that you could take a picture that's like 5 MB and put it in JPEG Mini, and it'll be a little picture like my picture on the screen right now, and it's super small. It's like 60 KB kilobytes instead of megabytes and a bunch of megabytes. So that's one other tool that will help server space. And then when you're sending out these emails, it's seeing that it's a small email, the deliverability changes quite a bit for that. So your open rate, what do you think's the number one thing that's going to contribute to a solid open rate? You could take your mics off for a minute and respond to this. This is interactive. We only have 6 or 10 people on here, so we can be interactive here. But what do you think is the number one thing that contributes to the open rate of your emails?
Subject.
Subject, exactly. The headline, the subject line, right? That's got to be something that's catchy. That's got to be something that's intriguing. And there's a lot of ways to do this, but you can be creative with this with AI. I went in yesterday and I said, give me 10 subject lines for real estate that are catchy for my email. And it came up with 10 amazing ones, right? And it's everything from, did you hear about what the rates are doing, which is pretty common, to housing market increases the most in these three cities, right? And then you can include those three cities in your email, for instance. Don't overlook the capability of AI to make your emails better than you can make them, right? You could take, and I can even show you in a minute with AI, but you could take and just type into AI, I want to send out a weekly newsletter to my sphere of influence, the people that know, like, and trust me. This list is about, let's just say 400 people. I want you to craft a weekly email that's engaging, that's short, less than 3 minute read. And then also, I'd like you to put in these following things. Like I did this for my own newsletter. I said, number one, I want to put a real estate fact. And the stuff it came up with was amazing. One of the facts are, do you know it's illegal to have more than, I think it's more than three women staying in the same house in a certain state in the United States today? It's illegal. And it goes back to the days of the brothels and the days of, you know, all that. And it's a law that's still on the books in this particular city. It's in my newsletters. I was like, what? So I Googled it, checked it, and it's accurate, right? AI found that because I asked it to find something that's kind of intriguing, something that's going to be catchy. It's also illegal to have your inside furniture on your porch in a state. I think it was like Wisconsin or something. It's not right, but it's something like that. You cannot have a couch, a lamp, or anything on the porch. It's illegal. And I'm like, where did that law come from, right? So there's a lot of weird laws on the market or out in the world that have kind of real estate related information. That kind of stuff's going to be catchy to your audience. At least I think so, right? Wouldn't you rather get an email that says, hey, here's three cool things about real estate? Here's a fact you didn't know. Here's something funny. And then here's the trends for the US. All this is done in a 3 minute read, and AI will do this all for you very quickly. All right. So don't underestimate the power of AI. I know a lot of people think of ChatGPT as just a tool, but it actually is transforming the real estate space because of these things. You could also make it hyper local, meaning that you could take a client that is in, let's just say they're in Bellevue, Washington, and you could say, make a newsletter that is every single week or every single month with an emphasis on Bellevue, Washington, and send it to this client. And then that is deployed, and that's easy to do. It's easier to take 400 and make one email that's attending to all of them, but it does have the ability to get very hyper local. And if you're a new real estate agent and you're building a career, think about the power of you taking somebody like me that has 10,000 emails that I'm trying to send out and please everybody to where you might only have 25 customers that you've put into your database. Think about making it personalized for every one of those as you grow over time. That is when you'll build know, like, and trust in your brand as you progress. So it's really, really cool. Um, I think the big thing is make sure that it's in 1 to 2 paragraphs or it's multiple 2 or 3 bullet points and not super long. I get email newsletters from people all the time. I open it just out of curiosity or respect, and then immediately I judge it, right? Is it a page and a half long? Is all the type super tight and all that stuff? I didn't ask for it. They're putting their propaganda or their influence on me. I didn't ask for it, so it just goes to junk, right? Once I label it junk once, it's junk forever. So it's really important as you start this journey to give some thought to your first, second, and maybe third email, in my humble opinion, to get to a posture to where they're seeing value in it, right? And as we progress, we're going to share some of the things we're doing. Some of you might even be on my newsletter automations where you're getting those. And our open rates, like I said, are almost 50%, which is really, really good when you're looking at email deliverability. So a couple things that you can do, like here's an example of a. I'm going to mute you, Lee. Here's an example of like a cadence you can do, right? So say you're doing a weekly email, which by the way, that's the cadence that's the most popular. Weekly emails are the most popular, right? You're staying top of mind. It's got to have value and it's got to be short. But if you do this, weekly emails are the way to build an audience. Number one, in week one, you could do a market snapshot. So you could do a market snapshot. You could talk about the state. You could talk about a city. You could talk about the country. You can go national. You can go hyper local. It doesn't matter. You could do a blend of those. But you could say here in this newsletter is a market snapshot to keep you informed, right? Maybe as a headline. Number two is community events. These can be rotated in different places, but just as an idea, the number two thing I have is community events. Again, hyper local, you're talking about events in a specific community. I know I get an email from one of the title companies here in Corvallis, and every week I get their email, and it's like, these are the 20 businesses or the top 20 businesses that opened in the state of Oregon this week, right? That's intriguing to me. I want to see what businesses, and they're just getting the data from the business registry, but that's kind of a cool thing. I look at it every week because I want to scan through it. Oh, Pono Bowl, my buddy just opened his little Aussie Berry shop, and here's a new Harley shop. Here's another home inspector, whatever it may be. Those new businesses are listed. Takes a little time from them, but that's an intriguing community event, in my opinion. Number three, highlighting a local business. This feels good. It's good for the community. It's good for you. And you could take this from 0 to 10, depending on how much involvement you want to be. You could just highlight a local business as a favor, put their website address, do some things like that to benefit them. Another level would be you can go and interview them, have a podcast type format with a local business. And another level is you can go in with a film crew or this film crew, right? And go in, get the dual microphones, put one on them, one on you, and just say, I want to do a quick 3-minute interview with you as the owner of ABC Taco Shop, and I want to highlight you in the community. And then guess what? You're like, hey, it's Randy Bird with eXp Realty, Premier Luxury Group. I'm here with Steve, the owner of ABC Taco Company. I just want to highlight his business for a minute. You're getting your message out. You're highlighting the business. By the way, if you do this correctly, you can get them to put that into their newsletter as a highlight, which is benefiting you, right? You see the benefit here. And then the last one that I use is thought leader, right? I like looking at big minds. So when I say thought leader to me, it's like highlighting Tony Robbins or Zig Ziglar or somebody that's a power player in the professional business world space, right? So I like to add something about that. In my world of real estate, I'm very specific about what that looks like. I'm picking events coming up. I'm promoting people that just spoke. I'm maybe taking a highlight reel of a YouTube reel that I really liked and maybe put a link in there. It's going against what I said about including links and pictures and all that stuff. But as you develop this database of people that are starting to have an open rate with you, you can then start adding some of these things to it that won't mess up the algorithm. All right. Um, Gmail and MailChimp and all the rest watch you. If you send out 5,000 emails and you get a 12% open rate, they're going to start channeling those things into trash or into the junk folders. They're not going to put them in front of the clients. There's a lot of software now. And speaking of email, if you're not aware of Fixer, FXYER.ai, it's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing. I saw Chris show me on his phone. I put it into my email and I went from having about an average of over 100 unread messages at a time in my email to like right now I have 6 emails that are unread from all day. I have not checked my email yet. It's looking at all the emails coming in, it's putting them into categories. This is good for you. It's bad on the other side. Fixer is FXYER. And it's a program. My particular brokerage supplies it for us for free, but I was paying for it prior to that. I think it was like 25 to maybe $50 a month, but it's guaranteeing to remove 1 to 2 hours of your email a day, potentially out of your daily workload. So deploying your time back into dollar producing activities and out of email, right? So we look at it from two perspectives. We look at it from what can we do to get the 3 deliverables we want delivered, open, and then read click rate. Those are the three measurables. What can we do to increase those? And then what can we do to simplify and make sure we're getting number one delivered? And then number two, we don't have to spend hours in our email every single day, right? Fixer will even respond to the emails. It's amazing actually. If I send an email out and they go, "This is awesome. What city was that in?" Fixer will give me two options. They'll give me kind of a yes and a no. They'll say, "Hey, thanks for the email. That city was Cincinnati, Ohio." Or to say, "Hey, I'm not sure which city, but thanks for asking. I'll look into it also," right? It gives you options of what the response will be. It writes the emails for you. All you do is click which response you like. And all this is totally set up through the Fixer program. So it sounds like I'm on a Fixer commercial right now, but I really, really impressed with it. All right. What's cool about it is you could train the AI. So if Chris sends me an email and it put it into trash or it put it into important but FYI only, I can move that up to, "Hey, I want this is one of my leaders," or, "Hey, this is something I want to make sure I lay my eyes on." I can categorize it one time, and then for the life of that email, it will go into that particular folder. So over time, it just gets better and better and better. And there's like a notification tab. So all these Zoom notifications you get, all the calendar notifications we get, all the millions of things we get from technology go into one folder that's called notifications, and it doesn't clog up your main email account. It's pretty cool stuff. So with the content, always start with a hook, right? Subject line is your first opportunity for your hook. And then your first line of the email body is your second opportunity for the hook. If you follow these simple practices, I promise you your emails will increase significantly, exponentially, and then you'll start getting that deliverability. You'll start getting the open rate. And then as they find your information valuable, you could start including these links for resources and tools and valuable things that then they can click and move through as they progress with that. Um, Remember, this is my last thing, then I'll open it up for some questions. Remember this when you think of emails, we're in a 3 second world. It's just reality. We're in a 3 second world. We scroll left and right, we scroll up and down. We're in a 3 second world, and that's gracious. It could be a 0.3 second world, right? When you think of Instagram and some of these other things. So if you're in a 3 second world, what's the first 3 seconds of your email say? When I say hook, give it that thought that you have to convey what you're talking about in 3 seconds. 1001, 1002, 1003. That's how much time you had to have to convey if there's value in what you're talking about today, right? So you don't want to clog it up with, "Hey, Lee, it's Randy Bird. I hope you're doing well. I hope this finds you well. Here's my message." They're past it. They've read 3 seconds. They're moving past it. And it's nice that they read your name, but that's about the extent of the value of that. Instead, get right into the hook and don't worry about pleasing everybody. This is not about pleasing everybody. This is about putting a message out, and your audience will track with you. Your avatar will track with you. And yes, you'll run people off. Yes, they will unsubscribe. I get unsubscribes every day. Does it look like I'm crying over it? No, not when I have a 47 to 50% open rate with the rest of our emails, right? One more little secret tool that I want you to write down if I did forget to say it. This is important when we talk about this deliverability. If they don't open your email for 3 times in a row, delete them because the system's looking for deliverability and open rate. And if I send, even though I love Lee's like in my organization, but if I send him 3 emails that are unopened and all my systems show if they're opened or not, if he does not open 3 emails, he's deleted from my email category until I ask him like, "Hey, I'm gonna put you back on this, but are you gonna look at these? Are these valuable? Whatever it may be." So you can categorize those. But if you're sending somebody an email, I looked at one of my SOI, one of my highest sphere of influence, they haven't opened any email for like 16 emails. I wasn't aware of this until I became aware of this particular rule in the algorithm. So I deleted him and I said, "Hey man, I see you're not opening my emails. I'm going to stop them coming to you because you don't find value in them. If you want on that later, just let me know. I'm happy to add you." But the algorithm loves the fact that you're not sending countless emails that are going unopened. It knows. And it's getting better and better with AI, where it knows more than you do. And so we want to just keep these things in the back of our mind as we go through this email campaign and this email solution, if you will. But the fortune is in emails. It really is, right? Because people are becoming number and number to social media and all the things that they get bombarded with every day. But email is actually proven to be tried and true. All right. So I'm going to open up for any questions. I appreciate you being here today. Hopefully you find value in it. We do record it. It'll be on my YouTube, all the things, so you can go rewatch it. But we've got a good round people in here from all over the, United States, from Colorado, California to Washington.
Randy, where
Yes.
do we find Fixer? Is that in the EXP?
If you're an EXP agent, yes, this is a broker agnostic call, but if you are an EXP agent, you can get Fixer, Fyxer. I think I spelt it wrong the first time. Fyxer. And I'm going to put the link in here right now so you can see it. Copy, copy, chat. So yes, our brokerage is one that supplies it for agents in production and leaders. So it's provide for free. You could reach out to your broker team and ask them about that. But that's the link for it. Fyxer. I spelt it wrong the first time. Thank you. Okay. And so, like I said, what's really the most important part of this is adapt, accept, embrace email as a viable part of your communication in your business. The frequency is weekly. That's been proven over time. If it's monthly, it gets lost in translation. Weekly, if it's short to the point, you'll have great open rates. You'll have great success through, getting deliverability. And then I think it builds your brand awareness. Think it builds your brand preference with people when they see that you're to the point and you're out offering things of value. I can't tell you how many times I've got an email from somebody that said, "Oh my God, I was just thinking of you. Yes, I'm thinking of doing this. I'm thinking of buying a house. I'm thinking of changing something." You know, emails are powerful.
What do you think about Rejig AI?
Don't know it. Yeah, don't know it. So if you want to type it in here for people to look at, that's cool if you found that you had value in it. But I personally is not familiar with it. I probably have 200 AI solutions and things on my computer and on my phone, and I put them into categories: productivity, follow-up, assistance. Like I got 3 calls yesterday, people wanting me to jump on a 30-minute call to express their interest in an AI program they found, and you can imagine the bandwidth with that. But I appreciate bringing it up. Anything else? Any questions? Karen, Sonia, Joshua, iPhone, Chris, Lee, any questions on this? Anything that's non-at you or any questions you have?
How
I
do we get away
appreciate you
from?
just having these reminders.
Say that again.
I appreciate you just having these reminders.
Yeah, you're absolutely welcome. And again, we do this every week. There's no charge. My coaching's been sold out for a long time. That's why we came up with this weekly coaching for free. And there's no objective, right? There's nothing to sell. I don't put my website out here. I don't talk about coaching, getting you into coaching. It's just adding value. And I think that's really what it's all about. But thank you, Chris, for the acknowledgement. I appreciate it. Lee, yes,
So
sir.
I have Gmail as my main coming in. I want to get away and out. Who would be another email company to go to or to try and sift through?
There's several out there. MailChimp's probably the most prevalent, popular one. I don't like MailChimp for the reason that it makes it opt in for everybody you put into it. That's a challenge for me. So I use my Lofty CRM, KV Core, Lofty, Bold Trails, Follow Up Boss. They all have some kind of email automation and email deliverable. I personally use Gmail. I've used it for 20 years. There's there's a pro and con to that. You know, it's more professional to have it say Randy@randybird.com or whatever it may be. But I've used Gmail for years. I love it because if somebody else has Gmail, it adds a layer of labels and all the things you could do to it. So I'm committed to Gmail. We do send a big email packages out through Wix, which is our website provider. Wix has a nice email deliverability. It's very inexpensive. We send about 5 to 16,000 emails when we have these big events, and that's the one we use for that. But my daily newsletters and all that, everybody I'm in contact with in an SOI, whether they're in my company or they're people that I'm interested in being in business with, they get in the email automation, period. It's one for everybody. I don't have one for ladies and men. I don't have one for partners and people I'd like to partner with. I just have one email that has value that's ideally real estate related value proposition.
Very good.
Yeah, good question. I appreciate it. Ladies, any questions? Joshua. All right. Well, listen, folks, I appreciate it. We'll be back here every week, minus when I'm traveling. I usually do about 3 coachings a month, and we'll put out a reminder when we do. But all these are on my YouTube channel. You can go to that, Coach Randy Bird, super easy. All my social media is just Coach Randy Bird. And we record all these, we put them onto social media, we repopulate them for trainings and different things. But I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being on the production coaching call today. And thank you for taking time out of your day to spend it with us.
Thank you. Good
Thank
job.
you.
Guys, Chris,
Thank you.
everybody, thank you for contributing, and I'll see you soon. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
being right now. Rock and roll.